إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. طيب يا إخوة, we're going to take this is going to, I think it's going to be the last lesson on Ramadan because I think next week is going to be Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, we'll take much as we can today. باب الصيام التطوع باب الصيام التطوع من بلوغ المرام. طيب, chapter extra fasting from Bulugh al Maraam. وعن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما من عبد يصوم يوما في سبيل الله إلا بعد الله بذلك اليوم عن وجه النار 70 خريفا. Hadith said, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu anhu report, the Prophet said that, may Allah be pleased with him, that not a slave or any slave of Allah Azza wa Jal who fasts a day in the path of Allah, except Allah Azza wa Jal will make his face far away from Jahannam 70 kharifan, 70 years. طيب, first of all, here, ما من عبد Abd here refers to slave. Now when we talk a slave of Allah Azza wa Jal, we're talking about slave, two types. Slave that creation, every creation of Allah Azza wa Jal, a slave of Allah Azza wa Jal. And nothing in the heaven and the earth, from a human being, okay, they all slave of Allah Azza wa Jal, Muslim, non-Muslim, atheist, mushrik, everyone, even Iblis, they all slave of Allah Azza wa Jal. Ya Abdullah. And Shaykh al-Islam mentioned this in his Ubudiyya. So everyone fall under the definition slave of Allah, even if they don't worship Allah. Okay? And Allah said, In kullu man fi samawati wal ard illa ati rahmani abada. That everything in the heaven and the earth, they are considered to be slave of Ar-Rahman. Everyone. Because Allah created them, Allah provided them, Allah takes care of them, He looks after them. They're slave of Allah Azza wa Jal. The second type of slave of Allah Azza wa Jal, Abdullah, are those who worship Allah Azza wa Jal, who serves Allah's deen, who protects the deen of Allah, who worships Allah, who follow the command and prohibitions of Allah Azza wa Jal. These are the slaves we're talking about. وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا. Slave of the most merciful, those who walks on the earth hauna. That one makes a difference. Hauna, with humility, with humbleness. And these are the believers who walks on the earth with humility, having faith in Allah Azza wa Jal. They don't walk on earth with arrogance and pride. So this ayah talking about slave of Allah, khassa, al-ubudiyya khassa, slave specifically who worships Allah Azza wa Jal alone. So here Allah, Prophet addresses abd. So this abd is talking about believers. Believers only fast. Okay? Not a slave from a believer who fast a day fi sabilillah. Now the word fi sabilillah mean in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. There are two opinions on this. The first opinion is that in jihad. So jihad, one of the opinions is that if a believer fast in jihad, Allah will keep his face away from Jahannam 70 years of journey. Okay? Because jihad is difficult. Jihad is hard. So jihad, what does the word jihad mean? To strive hard. Mujahada. A lot of people think that jihad means a battlefield. It's a general word which means to strive, to work hard. Yes, in the battlefield, you are working hard, striving hard to raise the word of Allah Azza wa Jal. Jihad, when we talk about jihad, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah mentioned jihad are four levels. 4 levels of jihad. Jihad, first is a jihadul nafs, okay, which is 4 levels. Then you have jihad with Iblis. This is another form of jihad. He said jihadul nafs are 4 levels. To seek the knowledge, learn Islam, practice Islam, call people to Islam, give da'wah, part of jihad, nafs. jihad with yourself, and be patient. And so here, this level of jihad called mujahada, striving, okay, striving hard. And Allah said, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. That as for those who strive in our path, then we'll show them our path. Okay, we'll guide them to our path. So here, jahadu, what does jahada mean? Mujahada mean worshipping Allah Azza wa Jalla, striving to please Allah, striving to follow His commands. Okay, that's what jihad here means, jahada, not to go fight the battlefield. La. Here means generally to strive in the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So those people who worships Allah, follow His command, leave what Allah forbade, these are mujahid. This is called mujahada, striving. That's what we're talking about. Here, fi sabilillah mean actual battlefield. But sometimes jihad mean the battlefield. Okay? But generally the word jahada means to strive. It's a general word. So, one of the opinions is that whoever fasts in jihad, Allah will give that reward to him. Okay? Allah will keep his face away from Jahannam 70 years of journey. Tayyib? That's one of the opinions, but it's not the most authentic opinions. The most authentic opinion is that fi sabilillah mean whoever fasts fi sabilillah, yani doing for sake of Allah, not doing to show off, doing to please Allah, keeping away from riyah, showing off, to please Allah Azza wa Jal, whoever does that. So this fast we talk about, no Ramadan, nafila. Nafila, you fast according to your own accord. You're not forced to do it. So you fast according to your own accord, to please Allah Azza wa Jal, to seek His reward. Then Allah Azza wa Jal, the word ba'ada, there's another word ba'ada, two versions of it. Allah will keep His face away from Jahannam. The word wajh doesn't mean now Allah will keep your face away from Jahannam but your body in the hellfire. La. What it means is that the fact Allah will keep your face away from Jahannam, you will not see the hellfire, meaning your body will be away from Jahannam as well. Tayyib? Like Allah says in the Quran, كُلُّ شَيْءٍ هَالِكٍ إِلَّا وَجْهَ. Everything will perish except the face of Allah. So are we saying all other part of Allah Azza wa Jal, His essence will not be? No, it means Allah Azza wa Jal, He Himself will not perish, except everything will be perished. Tayyib? So wajh here mean, here the face. Allah will not make you see the Jahannam. Allah will keep you away from Jahannam. If you fast a day to please Allah, seeking the pleasure of Allah, seeking the reward of Allah Azza wa Jal, you will not see the Jahannam sab'ina kharif. The word kharif means one of the fusul, one of the seasons in Arab is kharif. So you have sayf, which is summer, shita with winter, rabi' is spring, kharif is autumn, which means, so sometimes the Arab refer kharif as a year. So kharifun, 1 year, okay? So sab'ina kharifan, 70 years. So Allah Azza wa, so imagine if you travel 70 years, how far can you go? You can't imagine it, okay? So Allah Azza wa Jal will keep the slave away from Jahannam, that distance. He will not see Jahannam. Because of one day he fasted for sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, to please Him. Yes. Jihad, you don't fast. Prophet did not allow them to fast jihad because it's hard. And you are here to raise the word of Allah, and you're outside, you're striving, you're going to get hungry. So the Prophet did not allow the companion to fast while they're in jihad, in the battlefield. Now, ففي الحديث فضل الجهاد في سبيل الله مقام الجهاد من Islam. So this hadith talks about the virtue of jihad, according to those who believe in jihad actually. And jihad is highest level of ibadah. Okay? As hadith says, رأس الأمر الإسلام. The head part of it is Islam. The pillar is Islam, Salah. And the highest peak is jihad fi sabilillah, to fight in the battlefield. That's the highest peak. Okay? That's when you go and give your blood for sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. There's nothing greater than that. Okay? يقيد الصيام في سبيل الله بعدم الإدعاف بدري عن الجهاد. Okay. Fasting in the jihad, okay, its condition is that, it specifically mentions that when you're in jihad, you fast if you're weak in your body, okay. فإذا أضعفه فالمستحب له تركه. So jihad, as long as you're not feeling weak, you're feeling strong, mostly you're fighting the path of Allah, then you fast. It's recommended to fast. But if you feel weak physically, then it is recommended to leave the siyam. So this hadith talking about virtue of doing nafila, virtue of doing siyam which is outside Ramadan. For example, Shawwal and things like that, Muharram, Arafah. These are siyam which is extra siyam, that's what he's talking about, other than Ramadan. So that's one of the hadiths. وعن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت كان الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يصوم حتى نقول لا يفطر ولا يفطر حتى نقول لا يصوم وما رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم استكمل صيام شهر قط إلا رمضان وما رأيته في شهر أكثر منه صيام في شعبان. This hadith talking about the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, the Prophet ﷺ, he used to fast until we used to say he never used to break the fast. Like for example, the fasting of Wisal, that where Prophet ﷺ will fast 3, 4, 5 days, he will not break the fast. Okay? And he forbade the companions. And this is only for the Prophet ﷺ. The reason being, he will fast, okay, and they will say, he will not break the fast, meaning he's fasting for so long, كأنه, as if he's not breaking the fast. وَيُفْطِرْ حَتَّى نَقُولْ لَا يَصُومْ. And he will break the fast until we say he doesn't fast. Because Prophet would be occupied with many things, and he will fast. Sometimes he will not fast. Okay, he will leave the fast, and he's so occupied with the affair of the Muslims. وَمَا رَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ اسْتَكْمَلَ صِيَامْ شَهْرٍ قَطْ إِلَّا رَمَضَانَ. That Prophet, I have never seen Prophet ﷺ fast complete month except Ramadan. Okay, so Ramadan is wajib. Everybody have to fast. But there is a month the Prophet ﷺ will fast whole month other than Ramadan, which is a Sha'ban. Sha'ban is a month which is a siyam, a nafila, extra fasting. The Prophet ﷺ will fast the whole month. Okay, so this fasting, these are the siyam which are nafila. You just fast. And the Prophet would do a lot of siyam which are outside Ramadan, long fasting, and he will occupy himself with this siyam. طيب يا إخوة. وعن عبيدة رضي الله عنه قال أمر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن نصوم من شهر 3 أيام 13 و14 و15. Hadith Abu Dharr رضي الله عنه said that Prophet commanded us that we fast 3 days of every month, 13th, 14th and 15th. These are called Siyamul Bayda, the white days. And it's called white days because, inshallah, these days are days when the skies are very clear and things like that. Now, what is the virtue of fasting these days? There's a hadith Abu radiallahu anhu, he said, the Prophet commanded me 3 things, and he said, don't leave them until I die. Is to fast 3 days of every month, to do Salatul Duha, and not to miss the witr. And witr is one of the important salah. Imam Ahmad said, if someone leave witr, then he's an evil man. It's like something that highly recommended. So these 3 things, Abu radiallahu anhu, after Prophet commanded him, he never left. So what is the virtue of fasting these 3 days, 13, 14, 15? By Hadith says, جابر أن الرسول قال صيام 3 أيام من كل شهر كصيام الدهر وأيام البيض صبيحة 13 14 15. Hadith of Jabir, the Prophet said that fasting the 3 days of every month it's like fasting the dahr. The word dahr means the reward of 1 year. That's the virtue of it. If you fast these 3 days, you get reward of the whole year. And like the fasting the 6th of Shawwal, the 6 days of Shawwal, whole month. If you fast, it's the fasting the whole year. You fasted the whole year, the reward actually. So fasting the days of Bayd, that's the virtue of it. 13 days, 14th and 15th. So again, my brothers, we should, this is nafila again. We're talking about tatawwa', something extra we can do to help ourselves, inshallah. And mashallah, by the Qiyamul Bayt do come, brothers do remind one another, and we should take the opportunity to fast those days, inshallah. طيب. The next hadith, وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يحل للمرأة أن تصوم وزوجها شاهد إلا بإذنه متفق عليه. Hadith of Abu radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet said, it is not halal for a mar'a, yani a wife, to fast while her husband is in the house without her permission, without his permission. Meaning that, لا يحل, when we hear the word لا يحل, Allah is in the Quran, meaning it's haram. One of the ways we know something haram, لا يحل, it is not halal, it's haram. لا يحل لكم أن تأخذ مما أتيتمهن, that it is not halal for you to take what you have given your wife as a dowry. So we're talking about if a man divorces his wife, لا يحل لكم, it is not allowed for the husband to take the mahar. You the one divorcing her, you can't take the mahar. So it's haram. So here it is haram for a wife to fast while her husband is in the house, not seeking his permission. Because why is that? The obedience to the husband is greater than the obedience to the father. As Shaykh al-Islam says, he said, إذا تزوجت المرأة كان زوجها أملك بها من أبيها وطاعة زوجها عليها أوجب. If a woman gets married, then her husband has more possession of her, has more power over her than the father. And obeying the husband is more wajib. Okay? So that's how severe it is. In the hadith of Prophet says that if I were to tell a woman to make sajda other than Allah, I will tell her to make sajda to the husband. If I were to command. So the status of husband is great in the house. Here it states that the wife has to seek the permission of the husband. If he's in the house, shahid means in the house, seek her husband permission to fast. So say maybe tawattu, nafila, like the 13, 14 days of Bayd or 6 of Shawwal, Arafah, Muharram, 10th of Muharram. These are the nafila. If the wife needs to fast, then she needs to seek permission from the husband. Because they're not wajibat. So it's not halal for her, it's haram for her to fast without the permission of the husband. But, as the Shaykh explains, it is not allowed, okay? Here it says, وَمِنْ هَذَا أَنَّهُ لَا يَحِلْ لَهَا أَن تَصُومَ ثُمَّ تَطَوَّعَ وَزَوْجُهَا حَاضِرٌ. So if the wife is in the house, it is not halal for her to fast at his present. إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. طيب. وأما إن كان غائبا عنها فيجوز أن تصوم ولا تحتاج إلى إذنه. But if the husband is not at home, maybe going on holiday or something, whatever, then it is allowed for her to fast without his permission. He is not in the house. طيب. أما الصوم واجب كرمضان أداء كان أو قضاء فمقدم على طاعته ويجب عليها صيامه وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الزَّوْجِ. But if it's like Ramadan, or she's making up her qada, then she can't obey the husband. Because here comes the priority of Allah. You have to make the qada. And the hadith says, لَا طَاعَةُ الْمَخْلُوقِ فِي مَعْصِيَةِ الْخَالِقِ. There is no obedience to the creation where there is disobedience to Allah Azza wa Jalla. But nafila, فَلَوْ صَامَتْ نَفْلًا بِغَيْرِ إِذْنِهِ صَحَّ صِيَامُهَا مع أنها صيامها محرم عليها. But if she fasts nafila without the husband permission, her fasting is valid, but she'll be sinful. Okay, she'll be sinful. ذلك أن الحق زوجها عليها مقدم على some تطوع, that the haqq of the husband take the precedence over doing the extra fasting, nafila. طيب. So again we're learning that this is more to do with the wife and the husband, is that any sister wants to fast and she's married, then she needs to seek the permission of the husband if she's going to fast to the fasting of the nafila, extra fasting, not Ramadan, not qada. طيب. And if she does fast without the permission of the husband, then she's sinful for that, but inshallah her siyam will be accepted. That's important mas'ala. The reason being is that the husband obedience is greater than the obedience of her father, and her right, fulfilling his right is more important. As long as obviously you don't do things which is against the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So that's important hadith for our sisters inshallah. وعن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن صيام يومين يوم الفطر يوم النحر. Hadith muttafaqun alayh, hadith Bukhari Muslim agreed upon. Okay, hadith narrative Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, the Prophet said that he said that Prophet has forbade fasting 2 days, Yawmul Fitr, Yawmul Nahar, day of Eid of Fitr, Eid of sacrifice. Eid al-Fitr, there are 2 types of Eid we have, and Jum'ah as well, weekly Eid. The yearly Eid is that Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha or Nahr. These 2 days we are not allowed to fast. Right? These days we have to glorify Allah Azza wa Jal. We have to, this word Naha here means Tahrim. Tahrim is haram. Because these 3 days Allah Azza wa Jal, because we fasted, we finish fast, we do Eid al-Fitr. We don't fast Eid al-Fitr. They're two different zaman, Ramadan and Fitr. We don't combine them together. So Allah, Prophet forbade that day for you to eat. The word Fitr means to eat, break the fast. Okay? So that day, we glorify Allah Azza wa Jal. We remember Allah. We thank Allah for allowing us to complete the fasting. And Yawmul Fitr, it's called Eid al-Fitr because we give Zakatul Fitr. Okay, and this Fitr is we given. Why do we give? And Prophet Hadith Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, the Prophet said that Ibn Umar said that Prophet made fard upon everyone to give Zakatul Fitr. Everyone, every household. So who pays for the household? It's the husband. So if there are 5 of them, maybe 5-6 pounds per head. And that's wajib upon everyone to pay. Why do we pay Zakatul Fitr? We pay Zakatul Fitr for many reasons. To expiate our sins and our our shortcoming in Ramadan. Okay, purify our wealth as well. So that's what Zakatul Fitr is. We give the Fitr. Also it means Fitr because from Futur. Okay? When we go to Eid al-Fitr, what do we do? What is the sunnah? You eat first. You do futur first. Iftar means breakfast, whatever. Even sip of water or samosa, whatever you have. Eat that and then go to Eid al-Fitr. That's what Eid al-Fitr is. That's not the meaning of Eid al-Fitr. You eat first and then go to Salah. That's sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Nahar is what? Sacrifice. So you don't eat first. You go. Okay, in this country you don't do qurbani, but generally what it is, you go to Eid, come back, sacrifice the animal, okay, you cook it, then you eat. That's Eid al-Adha. So this is Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So Eid al-Fitr is a day of remembrance of Allah, eating and drinking. So Eid al-Adha as well. So those 2 days we don't eat because Allah wants us to eat and glorify Allah Azza wa Jal. And remember Allah Azza wa Jal. And thank Allah Azza wa Jal for allowing us to finish the Eid al-Fitr and Ramadan and thank him, show the gratitude to Allah Azza wa Jal. So yes, we don't fast for 3 days. We don't fast on Yawmul Fitr. Okay, that's the reason, inshallah. Let's do the next hadith. Okay, next hadith. Relate to this, inshallah. عن نبيشة الهذلي رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أيام التشريق أيام أكل وشرب وذكر الله عز وجل. وفي رواية لم يرخص في أيام التشريق أن يصمن إلا لمن لم يجد هدي. Okay, now the first part of the hadith, أيام التشريق, day of tashriq is day of eating and drinking and remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. That relates to the Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha. Ayyam al-Tashriq, day of Tashriq is the 3 days of Dhul Hijjah, 11, 12 and 13. These are called Ayyam al-Tashriq. Why is it called Tashriq? Tashriq, the ulama said the word Tashriq mean is the root word of the verb Sharraqa, Yusharriq, Tashriq. Now, the two opinions, sorry. The word Sharraqa mean when the sun appears and illuminates. The sun appears in the morning after Fajr, illuminates, called Sharraqat Shams. Okay, Shams has appeared and illuminating and heat is coming, called Tashriq. And one of the reasons called Ayyam al-Tashriq, the ulama said that is when you go out to make Eid, the sun comes out and is hot and the sun is hitting you. Okay, that's one of the meaning of Ayyam al-Tashriq. The second meaning of Ayyam al-Tashriq is the ulama says, you know when the people are in Hajj, 11, 12, 13 days. These 3 days, when they do dhabh, okay, when they do dhabh, what they do is that they get the meat and they dry the meat under the sun. And they dry it and they put salt in it so it doesn't go off, so they can take it to the village, take it to the country, so they can eat. You know, some you give it, some you take it, tayyib for yourself. That's why called Ayyamut Tashriq, day of Tashriq. And Allah said, وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ فِي أَيَّامِ مَعْدُودَاتٍ. They remember Allah Azza wa Jal in specific days, ma'adudat, specific days. These are the days of Tashriq, Ayyamut Tashriq. So when we make Eid, okay, we meant to glorify Allah. These 3 days, Ayyamut Tashriq, 11, 12, 13, we're not allowed to fast. Okay, we glorify Allah Azza wa Jal and eat and drink. Prophet said, these 3 days are eating and drinking and remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. You go to Salah, you remember Allah, you glorify Allah Azza wa Jal. You know, so these 3 days we are not allowed to fast. So that's why we call Ayyam al-Tashriq, 3 days. Next hadith, Lam yurakhis fi Ayyam al-Tashriq an yathumna. Prophet did not allow us to fast day of Tashriq. Okay? Hadith of Aisha and Ibn Umar. Illa liman lam yajid al-hadi. Means that when people go to do Hajj Tamattu, and they can't find a sacrifice animal, then they have to fast. Except for that reason, okay, if you have that reason, then you fast. But other than that, you can't fast. Okay, it's forbidden for Muslims to fast on the Ayyam al-Tashriq, the 3 days of Tashriq, because it's the day of glorifying Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب, so this is another hadith we covered, Ayyam al-Tashriq, what it means and all that. وعن أبيه رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا تخص الليلة الجمعة بقيام من بين الليالي ولا تخص يوم الجمعة بالصيام من بين الأيام إلا أن يكون في الصوم يصومه أحدكم. So رواه Muslim, do not specify night of day, okay, basically we should not specify Friday, day of Friday with fasting, okay, unless you normally fast. So Friday is the day, my brothers, we're not allowed to fast. لا يصومن أحدكم يوم الجمعة إلا أن يصوم يوما قبله أو يوما بعده. Friday is يوم العيد for us. Okay, none of you should fast on Friday except if you fast day before and day after. There's a hadith of Prophet ﷺ, one of his wife was fasting on Friday, and she said to Prophet, I'm fasting. The Prophet said, are you fasting, did you fast day before? Thursday? No. Are you fasting tomorrow? No. Prophet said, do not fast today. So Friday is a day, it's forbidden to specify that day for fasting is not allowed in Islam. Because it goes with other hadith. Friday is Eid for us. And this is the day of remembrance of Allah, glorifying Allah Azza wa Jal. And we're not allowed to fast on that day. So you should specify Friday for fasting only. If you're going to do that, fast the day before and day after. طيب يا إخوة. So we've taken some of the hadith, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. We leave it now. There's so many, we can go more hadith, but I think we covered a lot of hadith regarding Ramadan. So if you want to listen to it, you can go back and listen to the, inshallah, the audio. Jazakumullah khair. Any question, inshallah, brothers? Take it.
Is it permissible to specify Saturday for fasting?
Again, hadith allows as long as you fast day after. Day after. But there's a khilaf on that. The hadith which says, Shaykh al-Albani, I think, doesn't approve that. Hadith makes it da'if. He makes it sahih, that you shouldn't fast on Yawm al-Sabt. But some of the Salaf made it sahih, the hadith. But yeah, if you're going to fast Saturday on its own, it's not allowed. But it's a day, if you're going to fast Saturday, you have to do Friday or Saturday, or Thursday or Friday. Yeah, that's the hadith, which is, but on its own Saturday, it's nothing in Sunnah to establish that you fast on Saturday only. Yeah, nothing established. Go on.
You said the day that Tashriq, 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah.
So the day of Eid falls on the 11th, right?
Yeah. So you do Eid on that day. So that day and the 12th and 13th, they are Yawm al-Tashriq.
You also mentioned that you're not allowed to fast, but some people who don't do the sacrifice can fast.
Now this is when people go to Hajj, they do tamattu, and they sacrifice. Okay, and if Haadi means animal for sacrifice. If you don't find that, sometimes you can't afford. You can't find a sacrifice animal. Then the replacement they need to fast. Yeah, only that is allowed. Other than that, it's not allowed. Yeah, you can't fast. You go on.
You know the hadith we mentioned, whoever fasts in the way of Allah, the face will be distant.
70 years.
Limited to like voluntary fasting.
That's a volunteer fasting, yeah.
It's not fard one.
Not fard, no. It's volunteer. Because volunteer you fast according to your own accord. And that's the reward. Fard you fasting because Allah made it fard on you, yeah. So the ulama says it's volunteer fast, yeah.
If you break a volunteer fast, you have to make it up.
No,
You don't have to make it
you
up.
don't make it.
Even without reason.
Without any reason, no. So basically, Hadith said that a person is king, he's the Malikul, he's the king of himself. So if you want to fast, you can break the fast. And if you want to keep the fast, you can keep the fast. Meaning that he's the owner of himself. So if he fast, voluntary fast, he can keep it or break it. It's up to him. You have the choice basically in the matter.
Even the fast of Shawwal and stuff.
Yeah, Shawwal. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have to keep Shawwal. It's not obligatory on you. It's mustahab. But if you fast 6 days of Shawwal, it's like fasting the whole month, whole year. Sorry, here. And I recommend anyone not to miss that Shawwal, 6 of Shawwal, inshallah.
This hadith you said about the hellfire being distant 70 years. But is that linked to someone who did major sins, or is it specific to some people?
No, that's between him and Allah. You know, he can fast and still can be 70 years of journey. Yeah. Nothing mentioned about major sin, but if you fast the nafila, you get the reward. As for the major sin, you know, it doesn't say about major sin, but a person who commits major sins under the Mashiach of Allah Azza wa Jal. But thing is, as we have mentioned before, if someone doesn't leave major sins, continuously he does major sins, then this nafila, the minor sin will not be expected from him. But he'll get reward for his siyam, no doubt about it. But his major sin between him and Allah is under the will of Allah. If Allah wants to punish him, punish him. If he wants to forgive him, he'll forgive him. That's between him and Allah Azza wa Jalla. I know where you're coming from, because if he can be punished, and at the same time he's away from 70, maybe Allah can punish him for that. So maybe it could be that you have to make tawbah from the major sin as well. Yeah.
So one more, is the cut off topic, but you know, if someone has paid zakat and he paid right away in Ramadan, but he's going, let's say he knows he's going to get paid after 5 days or something, but he gave it before that. Is it better if he waits until he gets paid and then pay?
No, if you got the money, you pay, isn't it? Once you got the money, you pay it. You pay the zakat, yeah.
Even a couple of days later, if he's getting income from his job or something.
Or you can wait. What the zakat you pay from the money that you have saving, from the saving that you have, not you're going to spend. So if you got money stuck in your bank, in your bank account, £5,000, it's stuck there, it's sitting there. You pay zakat for that. And the money that you will spend, you don't pay zakat of that. Understand? So you might have 1 grand in your account, but you're going to spend it. They just said you spend the money, you don't pay zakat on it. But something which is sitting there in the account for years and years, you're not spending it. It's just there. You pay zakat of that money.
That's someone every time he keeps saving his money. Whenever he gets paid from work, he tries to save it. Is it zakat?
Yeah, after 1 year, you go to your account and you see how much you have. Okay, so if you go more than if you go over £1,000, you pay for it. Now let me explain to you. I think you're not understanding it. So say I've got £1,000 in my account, but I have to go and do the shopping for my family. It's going to come to £700. I don't pay zakat. Understand? So zakat you pay, which is stuck in the account. You don't use it. But if you can spend for your family, then spend it. You don't have to pay zakat. Understand? So what is saved in your account, you pay for that. If you, after 1 year, it's sitting there, I'm not going to use it, pay zakat for that. Understand? That's what it is.
What about a loan? If someone owes you money?
Someone owes you money? Yeah, until you have it on your hand, you don't pay zakat of that, is it? You have to have it on your account, on your hand. You can tell him, brother, give me the money, I need to pay zakat. خلاص جزاكم الله خير. Okay, so yeah, that's